Hey, it's been a while. The last episode I posted was all the way back in October. And it hasn't been because I haven't worked on the show. I have written quite a few episodes. I've recorded a few of them. But it just didn't feel right to post them. I want everything that I do here to not only feel authentic to you as the listener, but to genuinely be authentic from my side. I feel like so much of our lives is performative. We are constantly working to fit into these molds of what we are supposed to be or expected to be. And I didn't have many rules for the show when I started it, but not faking it was definitely one of the rules. I wanted this to be something that I can be proud of, and I don't want to put out an episode unless I feel like it is conveying exactly what I'm thinking and feeling. But also, I want to make sure that I am the right person to say it and that I am saying it at the right time. So all of those episodes that I worked on, with time, some of them can be rewritten, can be reworked, can be retooled, and will probably be used. I wrote them because I believe in the root of what they are. I just haven't done the work yet to make the entire piece something that I fully believe in and feel comfortable asking you to give your time to. Because I don't know how I can expect anyone to listen to my words, to take them to heart, if I am not willing to do the work to make them into something that I myself fully believe in. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to confront the people trying to get you to believe in the words that they themselves do not believe in. People selling you their lies as truth. Because I'm seeing more and more of it, and it makes me so fucking mad. I'm Zach Van Nuss, and this is Grinding to a Halt. So I cannot tell this story or cover the subject I want to talk about today without discussing one thing that I genuinely despise, and that's LinkedIn. I got on LinkedIn in probably 2012 or 2013, and I only created the account because there was a job at a marketing agency that I really wanted to apply for. And on their application, they had your LinkedIn URL as a required field. So I set one up. I populated it with the work history that I had, which at this point was like 6 years of landscaping, like 3 years of warehousing, and a year of account management. I made the account, I applied for the job, I got the job, and I didn't really think about LinkedIn much after that, until I needed another job. Because for a long time, that's all that LinkedIn was, a digital resume. It was a quick, easy way to find and apply for jobs. If you are one of the people who took the time to add connections and, start to build some sort of network, you could try to leverage said network to get an in with a recruiter or with a hiring manager. That was really all that it was for me, and for most people, a job board. I looked back through my posts, and I did not post on LinkedIn for the first time until 2020. So I was on the platform for nearly 8 years before I used it for anything other than a job application tool. And those first couple of posts I made were very reactionary to the things that I was starting to see bubble up on the platform. Primarily, and again, this was 2020, if I'm not mistaken, it was April or May of 2020, so in the very early stages of COVID. And I started to see these life and career coach types start to pop up pretty heavily. Now, I don't want to shit on anyone's feelings, but I am going to. Life and career coaches are, for the most part, a gigantic fucking scam. If you are paying someone so they can tell you how to be more successful, they are absolutely ripping you off. I have personally known people that have moved into the coaching space, and for the most part, they are just salespeople that burned through a bunch of jobs and then took a Tony Robbins course, also fuck Tony Robbins, and then piecemealed and I say this with all of the sarcasm I can muster, a curriculum or course to teach you how to be successful like them. That's it. Unless your goal is to steal the steps that they are giving you to start your own coaching business, you genuinely won't learn anything from them. I would recommend you take that money and you get a therapist if you are looking to work through things in your life that you feel like are holding you back, any roadblocks. Someone who is actually well-versed and knowledgeable in helping you do those things, and then start talking to your friends and coworkers about your job and your career aspirations. Most of the moves I have made, a lot of the big steps I've taken, have been after talking to people in my actual life about the things I want to pursue, not some person that I'm paying to listen to me. So please reach out to people in your real network, ask them for advice if you need it, but under any circumstances, please do not pay someone to be your coach. And that was probably the first trend that I really saw on LinkedIn in those early days of COVID. And don't get me wrong, that is still very much a large part of LinkedIn content overall. But over time, these things shift and they morph. And career coaches and life coaches posts started to kind of fall away as CEOs were getting more spotlight during COVID. And so you started to see this shift of CEOs clearly just having people on their marketing team write posts for them that were setting them up as these thought leaders and leadership experts. Posts that were more focused on how to run your business differently, how to elevate your team by elevating your leadership skill set. It was all still a grift to position certain people as experts without any real use cases of what they were talking about or how to actually do these things. Just kind of heartless posts that threw in a bunch of zeitgeisty buzzwords to try to catch your attention, pick up on the algorithm. And a lot of the terminology was also being used to position these people as humble servant leaders. And keep in mind, this is content written by a marketing team most likely to elevate their CEO's brand. So, humility. And after that kind of ebbed and flowed and saw wanes, and as layoffs happen, those CEOs start to get a little quieter. And now we have moved into the disruptor phase. And this is the phase that ends all business life cycles. And to help sell that point, I will direct you to the fantastic podcast Better Offline, hosted by Ed Zitron. His term, the rot economy, kind of perfectly encapsulates where we are, not only on the tech side of things, but with late-stage capitalism as a whole here in the U.S. These unrealistic year-over-year growth expectations and outcomes of all businesses, and this pushes to pursue this noble idea of what, and I will use my own term now, I call the 10Xification of everything. But market caps are real, brands die, not all services or companies are necessary, and all growth stops at some point. Big tech is struggling, cost of living is rising while wages stay low, no lifting there at all, while cost of living increases exponentially. And then these grifters will swoop in and try to establish themselves as a voice of reason in these trying times, that they are disruptors, that they can present new ideas and new way and new insights to make you more successful, to make your brand more successful. And then also, because everything's going to have a little bit of that leadership and life coach bullshit in it, this is also how you establish yourself as the CEO behind a company that is disrupting a dying industry, and how you manage your employees, and how life cycle happiness at your company is higher than it's ever been, and why everyone should want to work with you. It all kind of blends into just this hodgepodge of buzzwords that at the end of the day almost mean nothing. So what are the insights that these titans of industry are sharing with us stupid peasants? Well, I do have a couple of my favorite examples, so I want to run through some of those with you. Here's a fun one about the importance of paying low wages to people so they don't stay in meaningless jobs. This is about how we can create high-pressure life and death situations to help people find their true purpose. It is a deeply positive message from one John D'Angelo, and here's what he had to say, and I quote, "The idea that every job should provide enough income to support a family is both unrealistic and economically destructive. The truth is that not all jobs are meant to be permanent careers. Not all positions are designed to sustain a household. Wages are not determined by what people need, and he has that in quotes there. I don't know why you would put need in quotes, but the value that their work produces. They exist to teach skills, instill discipline, and provide opportunity for growth. But it's meaningful jobs, those requiring expertise, responsibility, and contribution to society that should provide enough income to support a family. Every time we push policies that demand we pay again, this is in quotes, living wage, we distort incentives and we limit job opportunities and borrow against our kids' futures. We don't elevate society by pretending that all labor is equal. We do it by ensuring that those who commit valuable, skilled work are rewarded accordingly, end quote. And that is deeply inspiring. And so reading that, you probably ask yourself, what could John D'Angelo, who has such strong views on prioritizing essential work, do for a living? Well, I am very happy to tell you that he has chosen the noble and selfless profession of marketing in the cannabis industry, a field that I genuinely cannot imagine my day-to-day life without, because, fuck grocery store employees, fuck teachers, fuck the service industry, fuck firefighters. It's heroes like John and their relentless work ethic that is focused on selling more weed that I have really found elevates my life, and I think he should earn a living wage. Also, keep in mind that this job is still illegal in many states, as most states don't have recreational marijuana use. But, our entire world would collapse without the brave people like John D'Angelo. Next, I want to talk about another repeat offender, and this is Dan Martell. Broke people talk about people. Rich people talk about ideas. Broke people buy distractions. Rich people buy time. Broke people see problems. Rich people see opportunities. Broke people see a loss. Rich people see a lesson. Wealth is a shift in perspective, not a number in the bank account, end quote. And this is a perfect example of about 90% of the thought leadership content on LinkedIn. It is this hollow, self-aggrandizing bullshit, empty words from empty people, and these empty words add nothing to the conversation. They boil the human experience down to, I think harder than you do, I'm smarter than you, and I deserve more than you have. I should be more successful than you, is kind of the whole point of all of these posts. And now on to who I consider one of the single greatest offenders in my eyes, and that is Grant Cardone. And he has such classics as, quote, if you make less than $400,000 a year as a husband and father, you should be ashamed of yourself. Also, never fear your haters. You can't reach your potential without them. The next one, make a list of things that don't pay you and quit them. I would like to, again, this is just going to be me editorializing, like your family, Grant, do your kids pay you? Do your friends pay you? Should you really quit everything that does not pay you? Next quote, success is a full-time job. And then, money doesn't bring success. Success brings money. Truly, truly insightful. I don't have time for hate, criticizing, and gossip. I'm hustling. Worth noting that Grant Cardone did file a $100 million lawsuit against the former CEO of T-Mobile for calling him a con man and a bullshit artist. So he does have a little bit of time for hate, criticizing, and gossip, and also for his haters. And there are plenty of empty, meaningless posts like this on his timeline. Things that are written like they are important or urgent, but they don't actually say anything, and they have no true insight or actionable takeaways. And you can say that I am not successful. You can say that I should be ashamed I don't make $400,000 a year. But one thing that you can't say about me is that I don't stand for anything and that I don't speak words I believe in. I would rather make less money. I would rather drive an older car. I would rather have a smaller house than perpetuate this narrative that success, security, and happiness only exist in comparison to the person next to you, and that to not have what they view as success is a moral failure on your part. The downfall of LinkedIn will be these people, these grifters, these snake oil salesmen, preying on people who are there because they are desperate for a job, LinkedIn has just become Facebook for your shittiest coworker, a site where the asshole that your company paid $50,000 to give a 1-hour speech to gets to post about all of the amazing things he is doing and how he is elevating his brand. But being there, for many of us, has become a requirement for our professional lives. Indeed often feels like you're just applying for scams or fake jobs, and that your resume is, at the end of the day, kind of being fed to train an AI. That's how most jobs on Indeed feel. But on average, Indeed has a higher user rate among active job seekers. And I think it's because LinkedIn has become this sales social media hellscape that makes the dehumanizing act of job seeking in the modern age even worse by adding the editorialization of idiots, telling you that success and failure is all that matters, and that if you don't wake up at 4 a.m. and if you don't brush your teeth with a $60 bottle of water, you've somehow already failed and you're never going to get that job, so you should probably pay them to come yell at you and tell you how to be better. And all of this gets me to what I actually want to talk about. Content. Or, to be more specific, the output of content. I was on LinkedIn the other day and I came across this post that honestly just made my blood pressure shoot through the roof. It was a post by Nick DeFabio, and I'm going to read it in its entirety because I think it's worth doing, but it is horrible, and I don't know this person, but I know I don't like him based on what he has to say here. And so here's the post, quote, "Anyone can publish a book on Amazon and make $3,000 a month from it. I've been doing it for 10 years. The best part, I've never written a single book. Here's exactly how I've made $1 million+ on Amazon, and how you can too. 1. Find a profitable book idea. Not all books make money. Here's how you can find the one that does. 1. Use BookBeam to see what's selling. 2. Look for self-published books that have good sales potential. 3. Focus on evergreen niches: health, business, relationship, finance, etc. Once you've found that niche with demand, move on to the next step. Step 2. Get the book written, in parentheses, without writing a word. You don't need to be an author. You just need a system. And here's how I do it. 1. Hire a ghostwriter on Upwork or Fiverr. 2. Use AI writing tools to assist with outlines and drafts. 3. Focus on creating high-quality, valuable content. In a few weeks, you'll have a fully written book. Step 3. Design a professional cover. Bad covers kill sales. A book needs to look like a bestseller. Here's what I do. 1. Use Canva to create a simple cover. 2. Hire a pro on Fiverr for a professional design. 3. Model your design after top-selling books in your niche. Step 4. Format and upload your book to Amazon. Amazon makes self-publishing stupidly easy. 1. Format your book properly for both digital and print. 2. Upload it to KDP, Amazon, and this is just their paperback ebook, platform that you sell through. 3. Set your price between $2.99 and $9.99 for max royalties. Once approved, your book will start earning. Step 5. Launch and market your book. Your book won't sell itself. Here's how to get easy traction. 1. Set your book for free initially to gain early downloads. 2. Use promotional sites to spread the word. 3. Run Amazon ads to stay visible on searches. Step 6. Make your book passive income. Once your book ranks, you'll see daily passive income. 1. Books on Amazon sell for years without extra work. 2. Some books make $2,000 to $5,000 a month. 3. Repeat the process, scale past $10,000 a month. Step 7. Turn one book into multiple income streams. Don't just think of it as publishing a book. Think of it as a business. 1. Create audiobooks and sell them on Audible. 2. Offer a course or coach teaching your book. 3. License your book to foreign markets for extra royalties. Final thoughts. Most people waste years dreaming of writing a book. But today, anyone can self-publish one without having to write it yourself. I've done it 300+ times and made over $1 million in royalty. If I can do it, you can too. If you want to learn more about how to self-publish on Amazon, DM me Amazon and I'll show you how. What is the fucking point of any of this? This is why capitalism will always end in the abuse of the working class. Nick says, and I quote, "Most people waste years dreaming of writing a book." No, Nick, they don't. People spend years working on books. They spend years writing books. They pour themselves into it. They agonize over style, structure, story. People like Nick are soulless. They don't believe in anything but making money and status. They want to tell people that they have written a book, but they don't want to put in any of the actual work that it takes to be an author. They don't want to write a word, but they want to call themselves writers. Nick wants to put his name on a cover, but he doesn't want to write it. These people think that their time is more valuable than yours. So they will put out some AI garbage which I also want to point out is completely stolen from real writers, people unlike Nick who do put in the work to create something that they believe in. And they want you to spend your money on a book that they paid to have written. They want you to spend your time reading the words that they don't believe in enough to write themselves. These people are a cancer, and they need to be cut out. Don't think of it as just publishing a book, Nick says. Think of it as a business. Offer a course or coaching based on your book. Think about that for a second. Offer a course or coaching based on a book that you didn't fucking write. At this point, I kind of just want to get one of his books, one of the books that he couldn't be bothered to write himself, and that I could guarantee he's never read. And I want to feed that into an AI and have it develop a course that I will start selling and teaching. His books are done via AI or large language models, which are trained on stolen work. So why don't I just take one of his books, feed it in, ask it to give me a course, and then I can start to sell that to people. I'm sure that Nick, if he ever found out, would be all too happy to sue, because that is theft of his intellectual property that he neither wrote nor put enough effort in to actually develop. But, if I did the same thing he does, he has more money than me, so he can sue me. And why do I care about this so much? As I stated at the start of this episode, I don't want to put out anything that I don't believe in. I don't want to make a name for myself if it's built on words that I don't believe in or things that I know to be false. And the world is built for men like me. I am poised to be as successful as I am greedy enough to become. I could put a prompt into ChatGPT, have it write me 100 episodes of this show solely based on the most popular topics of similar podcasts in work-life balance spaces, and I could have a bigger show than I do now. I could feed that script into an AI that could replicate my voice, so I don't actually have to do any of the work. I am currently sitting in my office with a blanket over my head and over my laptop and over my microphone while I record this, because I don't have a sound booth. I record in my basement, but I want it to sound as good as I can make it sound. So I look ridiculous sitting here. I could feed this into an AI and not do any of the work, and it could be artificial, and it could be more popular and cause less trouble for me and be less effort. But it would be bullshit. It would be the same nonsense garbage that people like Grant Cardone and Nick DeFabio and all these other guys do, because they have no soul. If you don't give a shit about the words that you say or that are tied to your name, it's really easy to get rich. But words have meaning. The things you put out into the world matter. And if you don't genuinely 100% believe in the words that you're saying, why don't you just shut the fuck up? There's too much noise, and there's not enough genuine discussion. As I start this line, I've written just shy of 2,800 words in this doc, and I've probably spent 2 hours doing research, another 2 to 2.5 hours writing. I'll spend an hour recording, an hour on post-production, and then I will cut clips, write social media posts, and I will have invested somewhere between 8 and 10 hours in this episode that I know will probably get 400 to 500 downloads or plays. So, do I want people to hear this? Of course. Will I lower the standards I have for myself to reach a wider audience? Will I change the way that I speak? will I have on some guests, and some of these people have reached out to me that I genuinely think are just grifters and full of shit because it'll be a better platform for me? No. I won't do any of those things. I would rather have fewer people listen to something I believe in than a lot of people listen to something that I don't. Our jobs often require us to put on this performative, watered down, incomplete version of ourselves. So the things that we create, the things that we spend our time and energy on, deserve to have us show up as our true selves. Don't let these grifters who stand for nothing make you feel bad about yourself. Work on the things that you care about. If it takes you 5 years to write one book that you believe in, it is worth so much more than the 300 books that Nick claims that he has written. Empty words from empty people can never fill you. They are selling you dissatisfaction dressed as a shortcut to happiness. They are promising success if you follow these quick, easy steps that they did not write themselves and that they didn't actually take. The truth is almost never profitable, and success is a lie told by the people in power to get us to turn on each other and to keep us feeling discontent. And contentment is true success. This past weekend, I took my daughter out to eat, and then we went to the bookstore, and then we got ice cream, and that moment was a moment of contentment, and it was a moment of success. And that is the life that I'm working to build. Everything else is just noise.